Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I will be reacting to The Replacements. The song is called Unsatisfied. They are a 1980s band. The requester just said, here is an 80s band with a guitar, bass, drums, and a raspy vocal, no synth or drum machine, from 1984. Not very cheery, but a fantastic song. All right, well, I'm excited to hear it. I'm also, I might as well prepare my notes over here to just be ready. This is already now documented in yesterday's show, so I can get rid of that. And maybe I'll type, but lately I only do the type reactions if it's something really long or very progressive or like Zappa, where there's like a lot of details I want to talk about without interrupting. Usually with rock songs, I can just say my comments over it and it doesn't disturb it too much. So let's see. Okay. I like that. All the arpeggios. I love it. It actually reminds me of like Pearl Jam or something, like early 90s rock, Everclear. I'm thinking of some other bands from that era. Basically, there's this radio station called Pop Rocks on Sirius XM, and it spans from like 80s to 2000s pop rock hits, basically. So rock, but softer. Like, the Counting Crows are on there. So this really reminds me of that genre, which I really like. That's one of my jams. Like before I discovered Fish, which now Fish is my main Sirius XM station. Before I discovered Fish, my main station on Sirius XM go-to was the Pop Rock station. The Pop Rock station is really good. They play, it's just like really good stuff. So this sounds like it could be on that. I like how, because I had the lyrics up, there was a slight poetic thing they did, which I thought was really nice. They were saying unsatisfied, unsatisfied the entire time. And then in the end, only just for one little stanza, they changed it to dissatisfied from unsatisfied. And dissatisfied definitely has a stronger connotation of unhappiness, because dis is really like antagonistic, right? It like changes disengaged versus engaged. It's a very active antagonistic prefix, okay? Un is kind of like just something not being that, right? Like I'm unwell. You don't say I'm diswell, I'm unwell. But to be dissatisfied, it's literally very strong versus I'm just not satisfied, unsatisfied, dissatisfied. I'm actively feeling that. So I thought that was a clever little poetic thing that probably most people would think the average little rock band wouldn't have. But this kind of music in the early 90s was really awesome. Like I really liked this period of time. Like I said, Pop Rock Station. I like that they're from 86 apparently, because that shows me that this style of music was around before the early 90s. So this is definitely influencing the bands I just talked about, like the Counting Crows, Pearl Jam, Everclear. What's that other song I like? Well, Everclear's the I will buy you a garden where your flowers can bloom. I will buy you a nana, perfect, shiny, and new. At the end of the day, I'm kind of a 90s girly. So that's why I think it was really easy for me to like Fish, for example, when I'd never heard it before, because they came of age in the late 80s and 90s. And so even though they're more prog and jazz funk fusion, there's still so many aspects of Fish that are inherently 90s. And I just love the 90s sound, whether it's from the grunge side or this, which I'm just going to call the pop rocky side. So I really enjoyed this, and I'm super excited about it because my post-1979 stuff on this channel is severely lacking. My channel is so heavily pre-1979 that honestly, I'm like, I should probably be doing stuff that's new to build in like a young audience, but I also just love the 70s music so much and the 60s music that I don't mind reacting to it. In fact, it's kind of nice, and it makes me feel really connected with my parents, actually. As I understand boomer life when they were young, it helps me really understand my parents better. And so that's also why I really don't mind having a boomer heavy channel, because I want to feel as connected to my parents as possible while I still have them around. And that's how I feel about all of you guys. I want to be as connected as possible to all of you while I still have you around, because every extra year you guys get is a gift to me and to all of my contemporaries and to the younger generations who I am raising and educating. So I educate Gen Z and Gen Alpha. That's been my career. In fact, Gen Z pretty much started the first year I was teaching. So like the youngest kids I taught when I was first teaching were coming of age. They were like 8 years old when I started teaching, and now they are about 26 or 24. They have graduated college. So the first batch of kids I taught fresh out of college have graduated, and they are like the first Gen Zs because they're born like 2000, right? And so, yeah, they were just little kids when I started teaching them. So yeah, I have like a very strong connection. So like I basically have raised Gen Z to post-college at this point, which is like a really nice feeling. And now the Gen Alphas are coming in, and I will say, my kids are actually on the cusp of Gen Z, Gen Alpha. They are the last, my oldest daughter is on the edge. She's the last year of Gen Z officially. And my son is technically the first year of Gen Alpha, but then I see the younger kids, and it really has to do with when you went through COVID. I saw kids who had COVID in kindergarten or first grade who had to be at home have severe learning issues. I found like they're very behind from not being in school for those years. And so I'm seeing that now because the kids who are in kindergarten and COVID are now 4th and 5th graders. And so that age group particularly needs a lot of extra help because of the lost education during COVID. My kids were in 2nd and 4th grade when COVID started. And so that was great socially because the kids who were in middle school and high school really got effed over by that. But my kids were still at that age where like they weren't like going riding their, they weren't like doing stuff with their friends that they're not missing out on prom and stuff like that. They're just in 4th grade. But they were old enough where they knew how to read already. They knew how to do math. And so they could do a lot of the stuff at home without severely like missing out on the hand motor. So as a piano teacher, I'm literally helping these kids who did not get the motor function. Some of them actually just need OT because some kids with like learning differences have motor issues anyway. But if you spend a year and a half at home, and instead of doing like picking up a pencil and writing, and instead of doing art projects and beading and drawing, if you're instead just pressing on an iPad, especially because a lot of the games today are just iPad games and they go like this. Whereas when I was a kid, games were like this, and you had to like bend the controller, and you had to like, I had to hold down the top of the controller and do this, and to do a Hadouken, you had to do like all this like coordination stuff. Now the games are like tap, 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 one finger. So imagine then I'm coming into piano lessons and these kids do not have the coordination to play. Like their hands are so weak. So if anything, get your kids in piano classes if they are young and you're suspecting any sort of, and honestly, get them off tablets and get them into beading, make bracelets. I used to do those weaving things when I was a kid. I used to do, cat's cradle game, right? That's coordination. You're taking things like this. They're actually worried that they're not going to have skilled surgeons like 20 years from now because the kids are not doing the same sort of like fine motor work you need to do to gain the skills to be a surgeon. So anyway, that's a very weird tangent for this video, but I'll put that on the thumbnail, hopefully, that I'm like, let's talk about COVID learning loss. That's the thing is I am a teacher. So like I should talk more about that because, I talk about sometimes that I'm a singer and then I'm a pianist and whatever, but I think the teaching aspect, like I am at the end of the day, I have a master's in pedagogy, which is the science of teaching, vocal pedagogy specifically. So I really understand how to teach and what teaching and having a good teacher can make a really big difference. The other tangent I want to draw to this is, my video for Yes Roundabout came out yesterday. And it's gotten really good reviews and people really liked my reaction. And I think I went pretty deep in the proggy like side over there. And the funny thing is I'm like talking about it musically and I'm getting in really deep. And like, obviously John Anderson has like a trained voice. He's really good at music. The whole band is good at music. And it's funny because just contrast that with how people reacted to my Dark Side of the Moon just because I didn't like it. They're like, you know nothing about music. You're an idiot. Why are we listening to you? Da, 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 da. And I'm like, no, I'm like, it can be good and I don't like it. Like there's like, you can respect something for being good and still not enjoy it. Okay. So that's why it's funny. But like, I really liked Yes Roundabout. And so everyone's raving about me like, oh my God, instant subscribe. Da, 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 da. It's like, well, I'm just being honest, But my point being, these musicians, we had this obviously from mid 60s through 79. I feel we have a super amazing rock landscape and music landscape in general, because I listen to the pop and the folk music as well from the 70s. And the music is just so beautiful. The Dan Fogelberg, everything, right? The other folk singers and even just Joni Mitchell, she's brilliant, right? So like this whole generation of American and British mainly, and of course the Australians who are neglected just because marketing, okay? But you have this generation of people who are just very educated in music, and they're able to write, right? And so the argument is, was it because of the music in the schools? Because my mom, when she was growing up in the public schools in Los Angeles in the 1960s, they had a very good music education, and the public schools were very good back then. And then as funding gets cut and music gets cut, and now you see, not necessarily, I mean, the music just, I think a lot of the artists today, unless you're a cool indie artist and you get discovered, unless you're some pop corporate plant, you're going to have a really hard time making it in the music industry. So anyway, I just find that interesting. That's kind of just like, it's like, I'm sure education has to do with that, but it'd have to be kind of studied on a greater level. So anyway, that's my roundabout reaction. And, so before I end, just because I have people watching me record these, if there's comments that are interesting, I'll just read them. So one person just said, good morning from Mexico City, Ciudad de Mexico. And then we have someone saying, that's a shame, the hidden cost of COVID. Someone said, I know what you mean. I learned keyboards in 1979. And this was before the video games like Pac-Man, so I had more control over my fingers. And then someone said, I have a jazz dad. Well, having a jazz dad will also help you be exposed to music. All right, so let's get into the 80s maybe. So maybe some of the requests coming in from subscribers could be 80s. Maybe this will be a tangent to that. So, all right, let's wrap up the replacements. See you guys. Please subscribe so you get notifications of new videos. I'm considering a member. Members get early access to videos. The middle level members get to replay live stream. On top of that, the premium members get to request whenever they want, even when I close the form. And I just added in the benefit that benefactor requests will be public within 3 days of me recording it. So like right now I had like a 5-week lag on when I recorded to when things went public. Like they'd get put up for members right away. And then it was like 5 weeks. I'm trying to get that to 3 weeks. I'm trying to just like push out 5 videos a day until I only have a 3-week waiting list basically. But then if it's a benefactor request, it's going to only be members only for like 3 days. And I think for people who really want to see what YouTube thinks about their video, not just the members, that's a really great benefit. So I was like, you know what? I got to sell memberships. I got to work. My kids got to go to summer camp. You know, I want to have financial independence. You know, who could be against female creators? I mean, we're just trying to have a little piece of the economic world that, you know, the glass ceiling is impossible to break. And really the richest woman in the world right now is Jeff Bezos' ex-wife, which, you know, she deserved it because he, you know, she helped him build Amazon by being his wife. But it's funny. It's not like she was able to create that wealth herself. Yes, I think as a wife, she deserves it. But you know what I mean? Like there's still a glass ceiling where I don't think she would have been able to have founded Amazon because the investors wouldn't have given her the money. Whereas he had come from investment banking and he had connections and he's a man. So just to say, like, I'm glad she got the money and I'm glad she's doing charitable causes. Same with Bill Gates' wife, right? Because he was a real jerk and now she gets all that money to do whatever she wants. And I think that's the best revenge of a scorned woman. So yeah, both of them had kind of scorned wives because Jeff Bezos left his wife for that woman. No, she's quite different than his wife was. And Bill Gates, we now find out, is, you know, philanderer and had even involved with Epstein. So it's like, ugh, gee, you know, like they deserve every penny is my point. They deserve every penny of the wealth that their husbands built on their labor, their domestic labor. So I'm a big fan of that. All right, let's wrap up the replacements.